That's good stuff. Coming fellow straight away. Well, yeah. Random video time again. Basically, now I feel this is time to get shot down massively by, everyone. Really. But, yeah, there's been like a mantra we've been living by and found, pretty effective, which is, if the mainstream media says do it, or it's good, then either don't do it and expect it to be bad for you, for your health, mental, physical, whatever. Don't think people really understand, or they underestimate the sheer danger and power of mental bad. Something that's bad mentally for you, pretty much it seems that, and this is going to go into the conspiracy thing, if you look at just while we digress slightly, the word conspiracy, to conspire, it means to plot, I don't want to give you an English lesson, but, it means to plot against in pretty much secret, or, without the suspect being aware. Well, that's pretty much what happens a lot, I think, I think I know. The powers that be, governments, rulers, whatever, they, as you come down the pyramid system, it's education, it's work, absolutely everything, and they plot quietly behind, and we never really know, we the public never really know what's going on. So is it really, is it really conspiracy? Yes. Is conspiracy what most people think it is, how it's been labelled and seen as some, alternative, wacko, you've got to be, have to be different, have to be against the grain, have to be paranoid, have to be, you're a conspiracy theorist. It's got a little bit twisted, I think, the meaning. Conspiracy theorist, really, if you look at the words, is just somebody that is interested in the theories of people plotting against someone, them, whatever, us, whatever. I don't think that's a bad thing, really, for you to be studying or looking into, because nobody likes to be plotted against. I mean, if you knew the neighbours next door were, hatching a plan with the neighbours on the other side of you to keep sabotaging your garden at night until you got so annoyed with it you moved, you'd be pretty pissed off, right? So you'd want to look into that, yeah? Right, well, is it so crazy to think that the governments on one side and the governments on the other side are doing that to your garden called your country? Or the garden called the earth? I don't think that's too far-fetched. Anyway, I think everything pretty much is a lie. Pretty much anything you taught, pretty much, everything. I mean, a lot of the education system, especially when it comes to history and science, it's all theories, and that's great, but it's not really explained as that, is it? See, the thing is about science is it's all theory, and it's all constantly changing the more they discover, but at the time, until it changes, it's fact. Or passed off as that, especially to kids, and this is really damaging. And we were watching something earlier, actually, and I've said it before, the first thing you get shoved in your hands when you walk into a classroom and you study, and you never see it again. I'm sure I said this in another video. You don't see it again through school, really, unless you choose to study at A level or something as a paleontologist or as an astrophysicist, is dinosaurs and space. As a kid, they know, teachers, curriculum, government, whoever writes this, they know kids love dinosaurs. I did. It was one of my biggest fascinations. It still is, but now for a different reason. I think it's quite sinister. They get them early. They get you early. And it just ties straight in to evolution, the evolution theory, which is blatant nonsense, because before you start shooting me down, think about it, okay? There's been discoveries of creatures, but nothing has changed from one thing to another. Everything is the same as it was, unless you're going to read books which are either guessing or lying. Because, oh, what saber-toothed tiger? Different animal, went extinct. Okay, so you've got animals that have gone extinct, and you've got animals that are being discovered. There's nothing new. Okay, unless you breed things together and then you get something else. That's different. Okay, that's genetics. That's completely different. There is nothing through nature which has been something and is now something else and is not that thing at all anymore. There's nothing. And I hear people shouting, oh, us. Oh, well, if you're still believing that, then, well, yeah, I would say you want to turn this video off. No, in fact, leave it on, because you need to stop believing that. You know, come on, do I need to even go through this? There is no original person that is ape. And then us now, and all the steps in between. There is not. And Lucy was found to be a pile of monkey bones. Nonsense. It's bullshit. It's lies. Okay. Neanderthals, they're so-called Neanderthals. I'm sorry, but if you get some people's skulls out now and you can see them in the street, especially if you live in London, you can see that they pretty similar to those so-called Neanderthals. You know, people, yeah, you do adapt to your surroundings, but minor is minor. You know, we have not gone from ape to man. We haven't. That's just ridiculous. If you think we have, okay, you think what you like, but it is a theory, and a really bad one at that, and it's been debunked all over the place. So, yeah, whatever. You know, whatever. I just am you know, yeah, just, I don't know. I think I'm tired now. I'm just tired, and that's the calm before the storm. I'm tired of just the lies, you know, the bullshit. Aren't you tired of the lies? I mean, come on. Forget everything I've just said, just for a minute, because you're probably hating me, right? Just wipe it clean if you can do that, please. Just for a second, I'm going to ask you one question now. Just answer yes or no. Do you trust the government? Do you trust the government? Just yes or no. Just, do you trust the government? If an MP is speaking on TV or wherever, and you're listening, do you trust every word that comes out of their mouth? Do you trust them? I'd be very surprised if you are honestly saying yes. And so, am I then so bad? If your answer is no, which is a quite logical and fair answer that most people honestly will give, you won't trust the government, then why am I being shot down for saying curriculum is lies? And yeah, you know, I mean, just look at the way, like I said, you know, you go to school, you're young, they tell you all about dinosaurs, and the first thing he says is millions of years, and you have millions, that word gets thrown around a kid's head straight away. You know the word million before you know the word thousand. You do. Simple. You know the word million before you know the word thousand. Why? Because of millions of light years away, billions, whatever, of stars, and millions of years of dinosaurs. You know that before thousands. You know, think about it. Okay, and you never really hear of it again once you hit the age of like 9. You know, 9 or 10. You never really hear of it again until you know, specifically study it or look into it, and that's very, very convenient, isn't it? Because, like I said, to get you early. Once they plant that in there, it destroys any other theory. So I'm just trying to adjust. Yeah. I just don't think that's very fair. I don't think that's very good, you know. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Christian, I'm not an Orthodox religion follower or believer, but if you asked me, do I think something created everything, or nothing created everything in a humid explosion, I'm going to go with the something. Look, don't ask me who created that, come on, do you know what I mean? That's like asking a Nintendo Game Boy original green screen to play a PS4 Blu-ray disc. Okay, I can't give you those answers like that. All I can give you is my opinions, my views, and yeah, just peace of my mind. You know, hey, if you don't like it, turn it off. Yeah, I just don't buy all that. I don't buy the millions and millions of years. I don't buy it. And like it is a fact that carbon dating and all this so-called aging, certifying the age of stuff, rocks and it's not accurate at all. When you really look into it, and paleontologists will tell you themselves there is a huge margin for error, like huge. So a lot of it is just complete guesswork or complete bullshit. It's lying. It's propaganda. I mean, when I found that the dinosaur skeletons, the Natural History Museum in London, were every single one, the so-called dinosaur bones was a cast, and only a small percentage of those so-called complete skeletons had so-called casts of original things. The rest were made up. Well, that's a fucking red flag, isn't it? I mean, come on. And then when that started to become public knowledge, they took the Brontosaurus away. Once that became, everybody was in, realizing, shit, read that small print, it's a fucking replica. That was shit. And they've now taken it away and replaced it with what? Another dinosaur? No. The real one? No. A blue whale skeleton. Well, that's convenient, isn't it? Let's take away something that maybe is it's definitely fake, and let's replace it with something that we know exists, so we don't keep getting had up for being complete liars and frauds. Oh dear, Natural History Museum, that's a big fucking boo-boo, because their answer was to where's the original bits then, what if these are cast, was in storage. They're too delicate to have out in public. Right, hang on a minute. It's a fucking museum. If it's not going to be there, then what's the fucking point in having it? What, you're just going to keep it in a vault for no one to see forever, just in case it gets damaged? Well, that's kind of fucking pointless owning it, right? I don't know. I mean, I was under the impression, and I'm sure many of you were, you're probably going, what? Thinking, I'm going to look it up. All the dinosaur fossils are casts. We're taking them away now, I tell you. Right? But yeah. I do love that lemon cheesecake flavoured shisha. So yeah, that's one big lie I don't like. And that leads on to many other possible lies for me. I mean, yeah, the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum right next door. How convenient. How convenient. And they're free. They're free. Make sure you go in there. I mean, if who here is English watching this, you got took to both of them at school, didn't you? Yeah, took to both of them. And it was a fucking great day out, wasn't it? I fucking loved it. I mean, I was lucky enough to be born in London, and my parents were super poor, but one thing they used to do a lot is take me to the Natural History Museum, because I was in love with dinosaurs, and the Science Museum because I either wanted to be an archaeologist or I wanted to be an astronaut. Whoa, that's funny, Those two things they hype up for kids. So my parents took me there. Why? Because it was free. I loved it, and it was free. Looking at that now, that's really fucking cruel. That's really fucking cruel. I mean, you might be thinking, why? You enjoyed it. Why is that cruel? Because I believed. I, as a young boy, a young man, a young person, growing up in this world, was fascinated by the so-called fact that these giant reptiles walk the earth. And that those suits in the Science Museum next door, I'll say, were worn by men that were spacewalking up there, where at night you see the black. I believed that. And I wanted to be that. And I dreamt of that. You know. And now, yeah, big sob story for me. Not really, but now, just being honest, I don't believe a fucking word of it. I don't believe a fucking word of it. Every single fucking photo, video of space, from supposed space, is fake. Don't believe me? Go and look up for yourself. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. 3 years ago, I didn't believe it. I've studied it constantly now. NASA admit they're fake. Go and read the small print on their websites for all their pictures. Go and have a look. And the 1 out of every 500 photos that is real is some blurred, weird fucking thing took from a crappy telescope down here. Honestly, it's all bullshit. Go and find me a real photo of the Earth from space. There isn't any. I'm telling you, you think I'm like, go and have a look. There isn't any. Just go and have a look. Google NASA using blue screens. And you'll see how their movie star being caught out doing their videos of supposed space on front of blue screens. And then they do their zero gravity walks and whoa in the ISS, the fictional ISS, and then have a little Google of 0G planes, and they take an aeroplane like a Boeing right up with the so-called astronauts in, and then they drop it down fast, and of course the men are lighter than the air in the plane, so therefore they float around inside it. You can do it for 45 seconds. They do that, they get them good at it, practice it a few times so they can do certain things in it, and then they flip the camera around, blue screen behind it, hey presto, you got the ISS and you got spacewalks. 0G, it's brilliant, really is brilliant, really is brilliant. It actually looks shit compared to the movies we get nowadays, but anyway. Lies, absolute lies. So let's move on, let's get back down to earth, shall we, excuse the pun. And let's just look at, our lives. I'm sure many of you have got, are living similar along the lines of what I'm about to say. And what I can say is, on one hand, fair fucking play to you for keeping it up. Like, if you are, because I can't hold a so-called job down like that. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Call me lazy, call me a layabout, call me a fucking loser, call me a crackhead, whatever you want to call me, right? I can't do it. Okay, what I can do is I can stay at home with the people I love. My wife, who works from home, she's a very hard worker. She's freelance. She works very hard for what she does as a personal assistant and a freelance bookkeeper. And yeah, she's brilliant. And I stay at home helping her. I'm a house husband, basically. Yeah, why is it okay for women to say, "Oh, I'm a housewife. I'm a full-time mummy"? What do you do? I'm a full-time mummy. Oh, good on ya. I'm a full-time fucking daddy to my dog, which I love, and he's here with me for maximum 14 years. I'm not fucking wasting that in a fucking so-called shitty job. I don't give a fuck. So if I can set my life up so I don't have to do that, then I will, and I have. So there you go. Fair play to you guys for putting up with the so-called job where you do go for the 8-hour 9-to-5 thing, okay? Because like I said, I can't fucking do it, and you got bigger resilience than I have, or you're fucking brainwashed more than I have, or you're just fucking scared into it more than I am. One of them, whichever one it is, I pity you, and also go fair play, because I can't do it. Like, because I'm a nice guy at the end of the day. I don't like to pity people. I don't like to be condescending, believe it or not. But yeah, look at the way that's done, 24 hours in a day. Right? Sure, you won't work that way. 8-hour job, recommended 8 hours. This is what come back to the beginning when I said, everything the government or media tells you to do, be suspicious and almost like don't do it, or look for reasons as to why they're telling you and why you shouldn't. So you've got an 8 hours of sleep they recommend, and you've got an 8-hour job they recommend, and then you've got 8 hours to yourself, which is great because it's a third. Only you haven't, because your travel to work time, your eat time, your fucking preparing for sleep time, yeah, is all in that 8 hours there. And so, how many are you left with, really? How many are you left with? Fuck all, I bet, right? I mean, I don't want to get deep, but like, guys, ladies, if you work a 9-to-5 job, 5 days a week, and you've got kids, how often do you see your kids? How often do you see them? How many hours a week do you spend with your kids? Quality time. How many hours a week? How many? I fucking hope it's a lot. But if you've got a 9 to 5 job, I can't see how it is. And even if you haven't, they're at school, right? School. Your teacher sees more of your kids than you do. You know, and that's horrible. That's really horrible. And then I bet also, you know, and I've been on the end of this as well, like, you know, with like my dog, for example, like I'm doing so much stuff, I'm running to come in, and he wants to see me, and I'm like, no, get off it. I'm stressed out, so the time I do see him, and I don't do this anymore, I'm really trying not to, but I bet you the times, I'm not having to go at you for this, but I bet you the times when you do see a kid, and you're coming from work and you're tired, you're telling them to fuck off a lot of the time, because they're just hectic, and they're just, you know, crazy, and you've had enough, and yeah. Well, the government's done that. You can thank the government for that. Yeah. And if you don't like what I'm saying, and I'm an idiot, and I'm fucking whatever, then you can go and thank them and side with them. You know, this is what's really sad. I think is the fact that, you know, and I've had this like on Facebook when I post so-called conspiracy theories and moon landing didn't happen or whatever videos, and it's like my so-called friends, so they're on my friends list, right? And people from school, people I've known, people I hung out with, whatever, attack me and argue with me about it, and I just want to push pause and go, hang on a minute, doesn't matter who's right and wrong here. I'm your friend. NASA isn't, or whatever isn't. Why are you siding with them instantly? I mean, you might think because I'm wrong. Well, all right, fine, but not many people come up to me and go, you know what, I'm not quite sure. I think you're right there, mate, friend. You know, but no. It's just bang. They've fucking brainwashed us big style, haven't they? Even to the point where we turn on each other if we think different. It's critical. The situation's critical. It really is. People need to stop and take a fucking rain check, you know, and work out what they're doing, how they're living. You know, those 8 hours of you out to work, out back, eating dinner, getting ready for bed, having a shower, watching a bit of telly, unwinding, maybe going down the pub, scoring. God, scoring. Imagine working, I can't imagine working hours a day and then scoring as well. I'd have no time. I'd like, when people employ a nanny, yeah, I'd have to employ a scorer to do my scoring when I'm at work for me. That takes enough time. Fucking hell. Yeah. It's awful. It really is. And I mean, I think I'm going to end the video there because I just want to go and actually have some time now. I'm just, you know, I'm blessed I got the time to do a video like this actually, and I'm enjoying it. And I hope I haven't upset people too many times. But then I haven't intended to. So if I have, maybe it's because you need to listen or think about your life. Don't listen to me. Just think about it. You know, people say I've got responsibilities though. Yeah, what you mean, debts? You mean ties? Is that what you mean by responsibilities? You got ties. They got holds on you. You know, it's called, you know, it's called blackmail. You know, it's called extortion. Really, that's what it's called. Yeah, they got you, haven't they? Mortgages, car loan, HP, this and that. Mortgage. The word mort is in mortgage, isn't it? I'll leave you with that. Anyway, enjoy the house that you hardly ever see because you're at work paying for it, and the kids you spend time with your kids or your dog or your wife. You know, really try to fuck it. Take more days off. Bullshit more. You'll get away with it. Trust me. Because they ain't here long, or you ain't.